I'm demonstrating again. I insert the belt into the channel on the nozzle holder. I insert here, it passes through the nozzle holder. The back of the rod holder is not open. It might be a little bit difficult. For this reason, bend the end of the belt to make it curved. I push it inside. It will make you turn inside and come out from other part. If it doesn't come out, make it more curved. This way, keep the position of the belt. Now, I'm checking if it is properly placed on the pulley. Before I insert it into the channel, I pull the belt to control the movement. Then, I will finish mounting the belt. To do so, I will lean the nozzle holder here and pull the belt to insert it into the channel. Again, I'm using pliers to insert the tensioned belt into the channel. I push it inside. Once it is in the channel, the tooths on the belt will grab inside the channel. This is now a little bit loose. I'm checking, yes, it is on the pulley. If this is too loose, I will remove the belt off and repeat the process. I pull it one tooth to this side to increase the tension. I manually check the tension. This tension is enough. If two sides of the belt touch each other easily, then tension is okay. If you want to increase the belt tension, you can use tension springs to adjust the tension after you finish the assembly. Motor pulley and roller in the rod holder are at the same height or level. The level of the belt starting from the pulley, going through nozzle holder and reaching to the rod holder should be at the same level. You can adjust the height of the belt by pushing it into the channel on nozzle holder. I recheck. If the belt moves smoothly, it is okay. This belt tension is enough. Now we can screw the belt screws to fixate it. I put them into the screw holes. As you tighten the screw, the plastic part will press and grab the belt. The screw pushes this side to press and grab the belt. You don't need to apply too much torque. It easily grabs the belt when the screw goes down. Hold the screw bolt and tighten it. Repeat the same process on the second screw. As I said, don't apply too much torque. It needs a small pressure to grab the belt. Too much torque may damage the plastics. If you make sure the screws are okay, you can apply a drop of adhesive onto the top of the screws in the nest. I recheck the mechanism. The belt looks at the same level on two sides. It doesn't move up or down. You don't need to cut the excessive part. For safety purposes, I keep the excessive belt part here in the nest. Or you can cut it, but don't forget you may need it to pull the belt if you make modifications on the mechanism. I prefer to keep the excessive part here. If the excessive part is too long, you can cut a small piece of it. I don't cut it too short because I may need to grab a piece of belt if I need to pull the belt with pliers in the future. The small extension may be nested inside. It may be difficult to cut the belt as there are threads and wires inside. It is not pure plastic. I insert the extension. Now, the X-axis is completed. I'm checking the axial movements. These axes should be working smoothly. A small difficulty is normal as the belts are now connected to the motors. I see that axial movements are smooth. Now the 3 axes can transmit the power from the motors to the components and the printing bed. Next, we will mount the electronic parts such as sensors which stop the motors, nozzle, and the other units. We will demonstrate in the next video. I recommend you to make a final check before mounting the electronic parts. First, make sure X-axis moves smoothly. Second, Y-axis. Third, simultaneously turn both screws on Z-axis. And also check all screws lest we might have forgotten to tighten some of them. If you are sure everything is okay, then lastly tighten the 2 screws on the rod holders of the Y-axis. Remember I said that these 2 screws would be tightened last, now that the rods here can't move. Don't apply too much torque. A small pressure will keep the rod stable. Like this. Make sure the bolts grab inside the channel on the profile. If necessary, loosen the screw, fit it into the channel and tighten. Check the other screws here for control purpose. I'm checking the screws of the other holders in the front. If you check all components and screws and see no problem, this means assembly of all mechanical parts is finished. Next, we will mount the electronic parts. Now, let me give brief information about what we will do. First, we will mount the electronic board and the power supply. Since it is an open cabinet printer, we will put the on-off switch to the side profile. I previously screwed the filament driver and filament roll holder. You can screw them on the plate according to the technical drawing. On the front side, we will place a switch here that limits the Z-axis. Here there are 4 tiny hole marks. We will mount a switch that limits the Y-axis. Here on the top, there is another switch to stop the X-axis when it reaches to the left side. After that, we will wire the electronic parts and finish the printer. In the next video, we will work with electronic parts. See you.